Today's episode of My Tiny Kitchen, we're going to make a basic grilled cheese sandwich. This is something that my 9-year-old son is learning how to make on his own so that he can do it without me. Okay, because this is tiny kitchen cooking and because you don't need a lot of fancy stuff, I'm going to make it in two different kinds of pans. Two different sandwiches, two different pans. They should be the same. All right, so I have a 5-inch diameter cast iron. If you can pick up cast iron, do it. It's awesome. They can be pricey, so, you know, a little bit at a time. Don't go crazy and buy a whole set. Okay, this is a pan I picked up at the thrift store. It's called Hardtech, and I haven't seen any other frying pans like it, but this thing is great for grilled cheese sandwiches and eggs. It's not cast iron, and it's not Teflon coated, so I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna go and get this stuff fired up. Now, on my stove, the back burner burns hotter. I don't have fancy stuff. Okay, so while these are heating up, I'm gonna take some mayonnaise. Yeah. Now, when you cook grilled cheese sandwiches with mayonnaise, you do not taste the mayonnaise. You are merely using this as a fat to fry the bread. So if you don't have any butter in the house, use mayonnaise. I wouldn't suggest using any of those name brand flavored mayonnaises. Just regular mayo. Okay. And then on this one, we are just going to do butter. Oh. Okay, so these pans are getting hot. Now, as far as the temperature of the pan goes, I have these medium-high. And again, this one seems to burn hotter than this one, so I have to adjust accordingly. If I was making grilled cheese sandwiches for the whole family, I would just do it on my griddle. And we'll go over that later. Okay. Heat them up. Start to finish, this whole process should take no more than 7 or 8 minutes. So it's a quick sandwich that's nice and warm on a day that you want a warm sandwich. Okay, as far as cheese goes, I use 2 slices of cheese. And you can use whatever cheese you like. I don't particularly care for like crumbled cheeses or soft cheeses in a grilled cheese sandwich, but experiment, try things out, see what you like. Today I have Colby Jack, and this is Munster, which is one of my favorites. You can use Swiss, cheddar, provolone, mozzarella, makes a nice gooey grilled cheese sandwich. Okay, so once we have these in the pans, we're going to cover them. So find lids, and you'll notice that none of my stuff matches. Some of it does. And that's the stuff my husband brought to the family. So we're covering them up, and the reason we're doing this is because we want the bottom to get crispy, but we want the cheese to get melted at the same time. So if the flame is too hot, you'll burn the bread and the cheese won't be melted. And if it's too low, it'll just take forever. So medium-high flame. And again, my burners are different. Cover them so there's a little bit of heat coming down from the top, right? Instead of just escaping from the top of the pan. And you kind of just hang out and wait, right? So sometimes with cooking, it's not about what you're doing, but what you're not doing. Just letting it do its thing. And that's what we're doing. We're letting that heat come up to the top and melt the cheese from the top and crisping the bread from the bottom. Birds are singing. All right, I'm going to take a peek and see how these look. Not yet. How about this one? This one burns hotter. Nope, not yet. And since this is cast iron, it does have different cooking properties than other pots and pans may. All right. If you do have time to stand around, you can tidy up, throw away trash, wash a dish or two. What is that saying? Idle hands do the devil's work. Twisties, we keep those. Okay, let's have another look. Ah, yes, you can see the cheese is getting melted. It's a little smoky, so this might be too hot. So let's take a look to keep this one from burning. Yes, it's a little too brown. I'm gonna drop the temperature down on the stove. This cast iron gets hot, and it stays hot. How about this one? Yes, this looks good too. So I'm gonna put on the companion piece of bread. All right, line them up. Give it a quick look. Oh, this one could use a little bit more time. And again, this one's at 4, this one's at 7. Different pans matter, right? Your cast iron is gonna cook a little hotter than whatever this hardtack is. I'm not a professional chef, but I come from a long line of them. And I really like to cook. I like to be in the kitchen. Try new stuff. Right, so this one's a little darker than I would like, but it's still perfectly edible. Yes, so this one's done, right? So that one cooked a little faster. Let's get a plate. Now I pulled it off the pan and just set it on the spatula so that it wouldn't keep cooking. I don't want it to get burned. This one's gonna be done in a minute. So let's take a look. When I make a grilled cheese, what I'm looking for is crispy bread that's a little greasy, right? And that the cheese is thoroughly melted. If you're biting into a hot sandwich and that cheese is still raw, not melted, right? That's no good. Now, as far as knowing how brown to have it be, this one is a little dark, right? Just a little bit. My kids might stick their nose up at it and say it's burnt. It's fine. But the white bread, obviously, is going to be a different color than the wheat bread. So they're going to be different shades of brown. That one's done. All right. Turn the heat off. Don't leave the stove running. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. Ooh. Again, that's what we're looking for. Melty cheese all the way through, crispy bread, right? And this one was with the butter, and this one was with the mayonnaise, and you cannot taste the mayo. I don't particularly care for mayo in a sandwich, like a sub sandwich or whatever. It's not my thing. I don't like the way it tastes. But it's good for cooking. And if you're in a pinch and you need to fry something and you don't have butter or oil, you can use mayonnaise. It's eggs and oil. All right, so let's give this a taste. Ooh. Looking good. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good right there. So, good question about bread. What kind of bread can you use? Whatever you have. If you like those chunky, grainy breads, if you like all natural sprouted breads, that's all fine. I personally think that the best grilled cheese sandwich is with potato bread. And as far as cheese goes, like I said earlier, whatever you want, whatever you have, right? If you have block cheese, just make slices and just, line them up. It's gonna work. It's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, just remember that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. But you know what? It tastes good, and if you enjoy it, and everybody else likes it, that's all that matters. So, there you have the basic lesson on how to make a grilled cheese sandwich from my tiny kitchen. 'Cause I'm gonna be king of the world.